people arguing, well, why is the state tree not native? Let's go through. So the bulls look pretty cool. I think we'll be good. This is where red. When the bull starts coming at us, you go in the opposite direction of the group. You'll speak of your bravery.
Okay, thank you.
First bull.
And the bull again.
You're the man.
I'm at the gate right there. Okay. What I do. Responsibility.
Oh, okay, guys.
Yeah. We did not recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, that's great. People like that.
The lava flow.
That boulder got moved up here in the March 21 flood.
From where?
From the riverbed or the stream bed. So,
Really?
yeah, the water, I wasn't here at the time, but they said it flooded out. It was above the cones here. Just to give you an idea of the volume. It was one of the bigger floods they saw in the south side. One of the biggest ones I was here actually on the north side. That was the 2018 flood. Yeah, past Holloway, the road. The white, Utah Valley, I think, recorded 52 inches in 48 hours on its rain gauge.
When they shut the trail down and everything west of the Honolulu was closed. You couldn't get across the bridge out of it.
Yeah, no, it was so we paddled that summer to the beaches there, like where the coal left. There was just like a pile of all the leftover camping stuff. Like they had a evac because you couldn't cross back. All the rivers were going crazy. So they were choppering people out of the Colorado. That was a pretty intense one. It didn't hit the south side as strong, but every east side it took out all the sand from all the internet. there. It's pretty expensive. I think 2 years they rebuilt all the bridges. Yeah. So when you go in now, the Hyanna, you see all the bridges. It has the original, then it has rebuilt.
Everybody west of Adelaide was loving it.
Redo it too.
Road on the street again.
Yeah, it was cool for a little. They were kind of cut off. This a visitor came up with a great name for this. Called the microscope. I know it's from the Philippines. Well, this came from the Philippines anyway, but I do think it's native to Catalan. I'm not too sure. If you want the tag, you gotta check. Anyway, if you start checking tags here, you'll see everything probably dates back to the 70s. This was kind of the first plantings that we did down here. But I want to show you guys a bird, a rare bird that is not a chicken. A lot we eat it. I'm gonna drop the mic.
Yeah.
This is the idea poem from Venezuela and something. Yeah, and if anything, just to get your beak wet, come down here 2.5 hours, pack some snacks or a little lunch, and you can kind of just explore on your own. It's pretty cool, and we're trying to get our staffing levels back up. So if anybody wants to be a driver, we are hiring. But yeah, we used to do it 7 days a week. Now we're 3 days a week for the drive. We usually offer this 2 days a day, so we can offer a little bit. But either way, it's pretty cool down here. That side is our canoe garden where we feature all the canoe plants and tell the story of the Polynesians. But our best canoe garden, I would say, is the Kauai Garden in Maui. That's where they have all species of all the canoe plants. So, you know, when I say they brought breadfruit, they brought multiple types. Same with taro and even bananas. There's multiple types of bananas. Yeah. Yeah, they brought what they call cocoa palms are considered to be canoe plants as well. Some debate, I mean, I'll be honest, when drinking with the botanist, and a good argument we get into at the pub is whether, because there's debate, the cocoa palm, the seed, the coconut, they say is only viable in seawater for about a month or so, yeah? And with ocean currents and everything works, oceanographers and the bottom say, well, it couldn't have gotten here and floated here and then been viable instead. But there's been some debate, and you know, that hey, maybe there was a pile of flotsam and jetsam, right? And a coconut was sprouting on that, and perhaps could have drifted to the islands and then came ashore. Maybe. Have a pint or two, sounds more plausible. That's my anyway. But it's like the hollow tree, like they didn't know. So
How long did it take the Polynesians by boat to get here?
a month, about 3 weeks.
It's incredible. Those skinny little boats.
Yeah.
It's incredible. They lived on those boats.
And do those boats have sails, or
They had sails with the hollow tree. They made the sails out of that. Although I was going to point out this plant. This is from Texas.
Yeah.
Astroturf with no slippage. But yeah, they definitely used that hollow. It's a very durable leaf. I also heard they used it for like even footwear if they were walking on jagged rocks. They could kind of wrap their feet in it.
The ancient tabby, right?
Which one?
The ancient tabby. You know the shoes that felt-bottomed water shoes that the locals wear?
No, I never heard the tabby before that. There's 2 pairs that live here. We're looking for the black bird. It's about yay big. It's going to have a red shield and forehead. They had 5 chicks this year that fledged, so there should be about 10 of them. This is the sound they make. That means usually, I speak Gallian now. So we were shut down during the pandemic. One of the jobs I took was to monitor a construction site with 1 pair of gallinas, these birds. They found a chick, and because they're endangered, you had to have while they were doing construction, you had to have a monitor. So every time a construction, if I saw the chicken, if they came within 100 yards of the construction site, I got to shut it down. I was a glorified crossing guard for this place.
I really like you.
The workers loved me. The owner, the guy who paid for the job, didn't like me.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody's got such a different standpoint.
Three of them. They're running. 4 of them. Look at that.
See you later, guys. Right now.
We're scared.
They're chilling.
All right. Yeah. So there's probably only about 800 or 900 of them. Most of them are on Kauai. Like I said, they got extirpated on the other islands. A couple on Oahu still. But that's a sacred bird for the Hawaiians. They believe that bird holds a secret to fire. In fact, the legend, and I don't tell it so well, but they say how it got its red forehead. The god Maui caught him and was like trying, give me the secret bird, and then he kept rubbing and rubbing. But yeah, a lot of Hawaiian families are actually kind of affiliate their family with that. One of the Anokumoas. Calling the kids. Yeah, I guess the juveniles are still hanging out. So those two of them, I think, are chicks. They're kind of hard to tell now. If it's a light red, then you can tell they're maybe a couple months old, but these guys are almost 7 or 8. Anyway, so how about this? That lookout I mentioned is right up there. this had been flown around the world for millennia. People were using it as an ornamental, and it wasn't until 70 years ago that they take a look at it. Lo and behold, it's all the seed of one of our disease plagues, of our species. So, kind of, I think, sheds light as to why we do what we do. Yep. So, thank you for helping us. But Vinca major, and I do believe it's native to Madagascar as well. Periwinkle. Another medicine we might take when we get so much sun on the island, we'll be looking for this stuff. We wanted the breadfruit. I think you might be in luck, buddy. We got a couple extra. Right from that white, you want to get that white stuff, the sap that comes out. It's very sticky. In fact, the Polynesians use that. When it starts to bleed, it's very viscous. It's like a liquid, but it'll congeal. They would use that as a sealant on their canoes for the seams, kind of like make sure it's watertight. They also like the wood of this ancient surfboards made of breadfruit tree wood. But yeah, usually that means it's ready. You want to boil it a long time if you're going to boil it just to get that sap out. Like you do usually about an hour. If you want. You could bake it as well. Flours made with it. A lot of the local bakeries, I know Hana Pepe, Midnight Bear, sometimes they'll do breadfruit bread. I know the bakery up in Kilauea, if you're going to the lighthouse, they make a lot of pastries with breadfruit. They also, sometimes their pizza dough, a couple times they'll use it. Yeah. So it's pretty versatile. And there's a lot of different cultivars, about 150 different types. Our institute, I mentioned Dr. Diane Rigoni, poor thing made it her life's work to go throughout Polynesia, Southeast Asia, and she found them all. And she brought them to the garden there. So we have all the known types growing in Maui. Yeah. But it's kind of cool. Anyway, you can when it's, well now it's at the, but it's like a pudding. It's a little, I don't know. I think it's got some calcium oxalates to it, but you know, it's not bad. Something to think about. But yeah, Bert. I gotta do this. Usually don't do this. For this, for posterity, to let this go out. We're going to talk about bananas.
Bananas, yeah.
But yeah, we're not quite in the Allerton game. But yeah, guys, talking about breadfruit and the different cultivars, and I mentioned a lot of the canoe plants brought here did have multiple types that they had brought with them, including bananas there. There were several varieties, which we do have in the Kahanu Garden as well growing. Commonly, we call the ones on the right apple bananas. You'll see those in the markets throughout. There's another rare type there to the left. It's not fruiting right now, but we like to call those Beethoven bananas. Have you guys ever heard of the Beethoven bananas? You never heard of them? Banana, banana, banana. I'm sorry. Those are actually ice cream bananas, technically. That was bad.
That was good bad.
Bad. So.
There's good bad and then there's bad bad. That was good bad.
I got that from, if you have any to share, that actually came from one of the guests in the tour. Yeah. It's become part of my repertoire. Occasionally. Only when I'm filming. What was that? Oh yeah. So there was one last year, December, that did flow over the banks. But yeah, March 21, that same flood was the highest levels they've ever recorded here. Those pineapples we saw were downstream. In fact, there's a gazebo in this first room we're going to go into that the water went past into the other side. So it was a pretty big one. But I'd like to welcome us more or less to the Allerton Garden. That rock wall right there is the boundary. So on behalf of Robert Allerton and John Greg Allerton and all of us here at MTG, welcome to the second of that. And back in their day, you know, they would have had parties here probably after they finished it. A good spot to meet and greet would have been the pineapples, symbol of aloha and hospitality. So look, this is the first of 5 rooms. They called this the Thanksgiving garden room, and typically kind of a formal entertaining room. Poo-poos or appetizers would have been served in this first section, drinks in the second. Today we could use our imaginations and have anything we like. So please, let us start off with a fine deviled eggs with lobster.
Okay.
Read this something. Oh, wow.
Deviled eggs with deviled eggs with lobster.
Look at that, right down there, Steven.
Yeah, some people use decoys in the yards. High protein. Probably the diet's pretty diverse. Yeah, like the beef. So I mentioned the stuff isn't in the living collection, so you won't see tags for everything, but we do have blueprints and everything goes where it's supposed to be. These are monkey pod trees, but not the originals that they had planted. Those got sick about 15 years ago and had to be replaced. Well, fungus on the soil, they say. Anyway, I'm told there used to be a really nice thick canopy in here. Obviously, this one's doing okay. This one's the hedges are panics in the Rubiaceae family, very closely related to coffee. In fact, they look a lot like coffee. But this is about as tall as they grow, so it does make a nice little hedge. The palms behind those are mainly Alexandria palms that they use. Some bamboo palms over there. The statues all have stories. He was a world traveler, so he collected them from throughout the world. There's a lot of the plants too, bring them back. He got these, Mr. Allerton did, in Herculaneum, which is in Italy, in one of the villages covered by Mount Vesuvius' eruption. Herculaneum is kind of high end of Pompeii, so a little more ornate stuff. Anyway, he saw those on display at the park and really liked them, wanted to have them. And luckily for him, there was a souvenir shop nearby where he bought these replicas. So it's a good company souvenir shop in Herculaneum, apparently. Yeah. And all the rooms have a water feature, and in my humble opinion, they get better as we go on. So keep on moving, yeah? Yeah. Sorry about the state of the gazebo here. It is slated to be replaced. We've been bidding it out. Every piece of wood here is a distinctive cut, though, so it's not an easy bid to get. No one's filling it. Any carpenters? Yeah, termites and the water from the flood last year came up about to here. So this has actually been replaced before. Hurricane Helene.
This would be
That was a big story. I wiped out this garden for almost 2 years, they said. This has Turkish influence. So yeah, drinks would have been served in here, and like I said, just a little nice meet and greet spot. And after this, we take our drinks and go explore to our heart's content. But just to kind of give you a little bit of background about Mr. Allerton, he did come to Chicago. That's where he was born, and that's where he got his money. He earned it the old-fashioned way. His parents, he inherited it. His father, Samuel Allerton, opened up stockyards, cattle mainly, especially during the Civil War. They say he was buying them up from Illinois farmers, a penny on the pound, shipped them to Pennsylvania, fattened them up, sold them to the Union Army for 60 cents on the pound. I'm no business degree major, but that seems like a good profit margin. He then opened up the First National Bank of Chicago with a couple other investors and made a pretty good penny on that. Robert was his only son. Score. So, to Robert's credit, though, he's good at managing the fortune, never lost it even during the Great Depression. He got into farming, a lot of industrial kind farming, but really his passion at a young age was art, to where he studied off in Europe for about 5 years. Fine art painting mostly, was into Impressionism. This came from Italy as well, Chirozzo and Naples. Yeah. Anyway, he gave up in the art pursuits and ended up going back to Illinois. He had a big house and property in Monticello when he moved out here in 37. Originally, this was just going to be a winter home. So a lot of these statues were actually moved from Illinois to here. Anyway, his backyard project ended up consuming the rest of his life. And well, I'll tell you more about why he stayed out here year-round. But he did say, though, in the trust regarding the statues, I should point out, we're not allowed to clean or repair any of them. So that's why they look a little... Yeah, he wanted them to quote unquote grow gracefully, so we let them be. Patina's the effect, and that was his wishes. And
What, copper? Bronze? Yeah, I think that's right.
well, this one here is. That's quite a bit of evidence. She is known as the lounging lady. In Roman mythology, the lounging lady is known as Diana, the goddess of the hunt, and the wilderness, Artemis in Greek mythology. But we stick with the Roman version because Diana here, well, her damage, a lot of it came from Aniki, is looking back where we came from, past the sows of the deer, up the stairs, we'll snake to the left. It actually leads us to the next room we're going to, which is known as Diana's room. So clearly she's going to get up, get herself together, and walk up there and meet us there when we're done.
See you there.
Yeah, so we'll see you there. Cast a spell on her. But the next version of Diana is pretty effective. I do want to take you to the fruit orchard. We got someone who's going to be taking a breadfruit on state commission for that. See what else you can do. I think I'm not allowed to let you guys do this. Something falls in the way. Africana or African bread nut. They're pretty good. And if you had a really red one go into your hand, I didn't see it because I'm not supposed to let you do that. Just make sure nothing's in it. It has a pit. Super sour. Oh yeah. Not off the floor though. Yeah, there's yeah, it's all that more the thing. We have these snails, African snails, and they have a little ectotrail they'll leave on it. They eat rock feces that could spread a little parasite in that way. Off the tree is fine. But yeah, this is known as a victory garden. We planted it when World War II broke out. The islands basically came under martial law for about 3.5 years. Military rule. It was actually the longest period in U.S. history. Anyway, after being stuck out here though for 3.5 years, Mr. Allerton says, hey, it's not so bad in Kauai. Decides to stay out here year-round after that. And in 1946, his property in Illinois he gave outright to the University of Illinois. When I say property, he had a 45-room mansion in Monticello and about 1,000 acres outside of that he had built a little park today known as Allerton Park. Has anybody been there? It's outside Champaign-Urbana. Yeah, but University of Illinois manages it. And if you're ever there, it's supposed to be pretty cool. I've not been, but check out. It's something to do. Anyway, that's a little story about why this garden was planted here. About 70 different types of fruit trees. Suriname chains, African bread nut. We'll cut through here. This is the very rare Florida orange. These are not grapefruits, but pomelos, Citrus maxima, which is one of the original 4 citrus. Grapefruits are hybrids of these guys and sweet orange. Yeah. In fact, citrus are kind of cool in the sense that they just hybridize with each other quite easily in the wild, and we do it. And even the hybridized ones hybridize, so they're constantly kind of evolving. Just watch this here. Cool.
Lemon themed with orange juice. So therefore, makes sense. The nature would do the same thing.
the macadamia flowers in Hawaii here goes off March, early April. The bees literally go nutty over it. Yeah, they'll just swarm it. And I know on the Big Island they make macadamia honey, which is, I believe, they're one of the biggest producers of macadamia in the world. Yeah? So they got miles and miles of orchards. They put the bees in the middle, and I like the honey too. Albeit though, the trees are native to Australia. That's their home region. I think Australia started to produce more now too, so the price will go down. But yeah, this is one of the nuts. You know, it's kind of green when it falls, and double husky. You got the inside nut. Yeah, break that inside. A little cornucopia basket.
Yeah.
You want to know where you got those? Huh? No, it was a Sears and Roebuck catalog. It was hometown of Chicago. Yeah, you're welcome, thank you. Yeah, also the pineapple. That's same order. I was in the training. They told me that. I was like, what do you have to do? Once again, your house plant's gone wild.
Yeah.
Sansevieria, snake plant, some other name I forget. NASA did studies up at the ISS with apparently some of the best. You want to see what was a good oxygenator. This performed high up there. They say this is pretty good. You know, if you got a little. Well, my girl says it's good for my breathing. Yeah. Oh, those are the palmellos. Citrus maxima, yeah. Palmellos, yeah. Yeah, pretty good. I like a couple different varieties.
Pretty cool, huh, Steve? That's Diana right there. She's chilling. I've been here a few times, and when there's no wind and the water is super still, and it reflects perfectly the building in the pool, and makes a cool effect.
Right, I think they thought the summers were going to be unbearably hot, and it gets hot. After this, to being here for a little bit, watching the garden grow, it probably became a bit of a project. So, yeah, you say, no, you can see why you left Illinois. This project, though, just the basic layout, you know, from the water features, the stones and the statues, probably about 20 years till he laid it all out, and then the rest of his life basically watching it fill in. But pretty beautiful. Yeah, the staircase from that Thanksgiving room comes up right there, so Diana made her way here. Now, she is white marble. Don't know who sculpted her. Might be last name tab, but a University of Illinois graduate, Mr. Allerton, have commissioned. Do know it's a replica of an original currently on display at the Louvre in Paris. That one is titled Diana of Gaudi, but that's like a 4th century original. But she has fared well for herself through all the years. And the patina we like, you know, she kind of changes. In fact, now she looks like today she's up. But she'll get covered with moss when it gets really rainy, and yeah, gives her a nice expression. Through the years, all the storms and hurricanes, the only thing that happened here was a little nip in her toe. Hurricane and Nikki, or perhaps walking up those stairs. In the gazebo to the right, that's Bacchus. He's the god of grapes and wine and having a good time, and likes to party with Pan from, Roman mythology, I'm sorry. And then Greek mythology, Pan. Well, he's a
Troublemaker.
yeah, You gotta panic when he's in the ring. He likes to create pandemonium. I don't know what else. Is there another word we could do? Pandemonium, panic, pandemic. Yeah. So I'm guessing the parties were pretty good. And also the reflections weren't lost on Mr. Allerton either. Being an impressionist, certainly reflections of light would have been a nice little effect. And I don't know, just talking about plants, you know, and the benefits, well, air, food, medicines, and then, well, laying it out, something beautiful. That's pretty good for the soul as well.
Did he hire a bunch of architects to help?
He was the main designer.
He was the designer.
Yeah, so he did have a legion of gardeners though, like 20 full-time gardeners. They say he hired kids, especially in the early stages when they were like carrying rocks and little chain gangs and kind of passing them off. And then, yeah, just kind of spent his time laying around. Hideo, now they did a lot of interviews with him. He said they were movers. He was always moving statues around. In fact, this was not the original he requested. It was another version of Diana from his garden or his home in Illinois. It was supposed to be the same size as Bacchus and Pan, but this one arrived instead, so they made do and built a little pedestal, and looks like she was meant to be there. That's, I've never been. I have to go. I'm trying to get them to see me. Julie, come on, I have to see where the statues came from. You want to see more? Yeah. Okay, we're going to go out here to the right.
What is that?
Perfect day.
But it's pretty impressive from there. And also, halfway in between here and there, in the fountain, there is a surprise. I can't tell you much more, or it wouldn't be a surprise. But if you'd like to try to find it, please, by all means, halfway. Take a gander around you. What do you think, Bob? Yes?
So, this is one of the ones on the ground. How do you know?
Let's see what's up. Let's stay here right really quick to this white stuff. Something we'll try doing it. Go to ncbg.org. They say they're going bigger like that, more numbers. Nobody does it.
Sometimes you wonder who would work it.
Well, what's cool about this is someone designed it and saw it.
The Allertons, the McBrides, there was like tenant farmers down here after the late 1700s. A lot of the Hawaiians left, so Chinese and Japanese tenant farmers came in, kind of raising rice. They say there was a house here, so one of the old style habitation sites. You know, you plant fruit trees close to the home, right? So they probably were the ones who planted this old long gun tree, but we think it's probably over 140 years old. And long gun, anybody had like a lychee-like fruit? Yeah. Yeah, this doesn't produce anymore though. The fruits are long gone. Water. Originally the water was actually a lot of it coming from excess from all the sugarcane fields. They pumped so much water up there, the ground was saturated. They say there were like springs coming up here and there. And Mr. Allerton kind of harnessed all that. It's dry now, so we do pump up from the pump house, basically from the stream. It all goes back to the stream, about 100,000 gallons a day to keep this all flowing during the day. No, there was a bamboo dropped by the Polynesians. I think when we get closer to the stream over there, there's a smaller clumping bamboo. It's like green, but that was the neighbor. This one is a modern introduction. This is native to China, golden bamboo, which is a clumping bamboo. So the name of this room is the bamboo room. Yeah. Grows really quick. That little piece of asparagus, and they are in the asparagus bin, that maybe is like a week old.
Whoa. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They'll grow 1-2 feet a day, especially we had some rain this week, so that one sprouted up pretty quick. And they'll race to the canopy. When they get to the canopy, then they start branching, so they're always growing something. But this was the first room that he finished. And he had a little learning curve when he came here. He said, I want to do bamboo. The gardener's like, make sure you plant this kind, because this is a clumping. Some bamboo could, could have mounted up. Yeah, now he's got, what kind is that growing there? That's, you're going to, like the Kipahulu one, that's highly invasive, right? Yeah. Everyone loves the bamboo forest there, but I bet you,
Yeah.
the bodies are like, So we'll go up that way to the right, to the corner over there. And so when I was at, after I came over to the interview, I think I told everyone, like, you still there, right? Yeah. So I did the interview, and then they were like, oh, on this tour. And so I did this tour. And here's where the garden's from, and I did this one. And right around here, I heard it was getting more crowded. I just heard like things like. Anyway, check this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this was the only room he didn't build a water feature for. He kind of had this going for it.
Yeah.
So this is where the fresh water from the waterfall we saw is draining down and mixing here with the salt water from the ocean. So this is brackish right here. And you'll probably see some jumping mullet jumping out and doing their thing. But pretty nice spot in the world, yeah? Not too shabby. About what you're looking for. Some of the officers there, the morale and people do pretty well. They say the smell yeah, both of them are a little bit different. He's more androgynous up here, kind of more feminine up the other one. Where we're gonna hold on to our butts. Welcome to Jurassic Park. I'll show you a couple scenes from that. Welcome to Jurassic Park. The big trees. I'm gonna start running around like Lord Durham. All right, who has not seen Jurassic Park? We're gonna take a 5-minute timeout. No, that's your homework. You're watching Jurassic Park. So yeah, Spielberg was here for about he was on the island for a while filming back in 1992. Hurricane Iniki kind of upset his schedule though. He was, they say, set up in this garden when they realized Iniki was about to slam into the island, so he had to get out of Dodge. A lot of the crew wrote it out at the Marriott at the harbor. There's a scene from the movie during the storm. Remember they talk about getting down to the boat when there was a storm in the movie? And the real quick scene, they kind of flash to a break wall and the waves are hitting it. That's actually the harbor wall. So they came out, I think it's the 16th hole at Timbers, and they filmed it from there. In here was some small kind scenes. One of them over here. Give me your rifle. Hold on.
Clever girl.
Yeah. This is my rifle. Speaking of fish, you shot it. I'm gonna get it. You can fill in past me. Yeah, go. You gotta look back here. I actually came in from another direction. So in the movie, remember the virus? Everything would have been fine. We could have went to Jurassic Park if it wasn't for Dennis. Newman. Yeah, he flubbed it all up. He put the virus on the computer, and of course, all heck breaks loose. So in order to get control of the system, they have to shut the power off. Remember, or reboot it. Some of the systems are down. And they had to turn the breaker on, apparently, on the other side of the compound. So on the way there, Samuel Jackson goes first, never comes back. Laura Dern, Ellie says she's going to go. And the warden's like, I'm going with you. And so they're walking on their way there. ugh, looks similar. And then they stop. He's like, we're being hunted. Right over there. There was like a gate. That's where the little bunker was that you had to get to. This is the trail they're on. And then he realizes he's got the velociraptors. They're stalking him. He's like, run at it, go for it. And then she's like running down there. I can't do the run now because you guys are in the way, so I won't do it. I'll do the one over there. And then he's kind of like I've got you. And then they split to another scene. I'm not sure where it was, but he realizes he's getting flanked to the left. Clever girl. And then he fights it. But where they stop right here, where she runs, there were like trees covering this in the middle as obstacles, so she's hopping over them. But this is definitely that spot. Don't worry, Ellie survives.
I like it.
Then I'll show the other one.
Either one. You always have the cigarette hanging on.
Makes it a little bit more exciting. Now the chickens are no longer chickens, they're velociraptors.
Okay, yeah. Oh.
Get to the theme of it. So the scene here, after that, Ellie escapes, the warden doesn't make it. Remember though, she's going back and she sees Alan. Dr. Grant is like standing in the trees right there. And she has this just put Ellie run. She's like, Alan, run!
Oh, that's right! Yeah.
Alan was over there.
Yeah.
And then these trees. So, oh wait, actually, we'll go in the trees this way. This is mock orange. This is so really nice. Actually, you can just more pronounced as well. Yeah. Those white flowers over there smell pretty good too. On the ground, you might see one or two lechosa. These are from Mexico, but that's a nice fragrance. They might have.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's alright. But these trees, yeah, they're pretty cool. These are Moreton Bay fig trees. They're native to Queensland, Australia. Ficus macrophylla.
How'd they get that name?
Also known as the Jurassic Park trees. The scene in here is they're actually coming from the other direction where that chicken is and walking. But you remember they found the eggs in the movie? They weren't supposed to reproduce. In the pocket in the second tree is where they found the eggs. Little man, you want to go on an egg hunt? A dinosaur egg hunt?
Go look for it.
Second tree, go look for some eggs, or dinosaur eggs. When you find them, maybe you can lift it above your head. Anyway, if he finds them, that's what they found. If you want to see bigger ones, you can just go to San Diego. In Balboa Park, they have some big ones over there. Older than these. These are not that old. Mr. Allerton planted these like 1952-ish.
That tree is.
Yeah, he got them from the nursery, so they probably were a couple of years, but they're like 75 years at best. Is that when they were planted? I heard they had to fence them off. They put a platform on it. I also heard a big one in Santa Barbara, the police station.